While I was in seclusion, a young man named Lucas joined the profound sword sect. Blessed with extraordinary talent and a silver tongue, he quickly won the affection of everyone in the sect. But when I emerged from seclusion, Lucas was lying injured in front of Oliver, claiming I'd retaliated against him out of jealousy. The entire sect was shocked. Their eyes filled with sympathy for Lucas. Do you even want to check his cultivation level? Why would you provoke someone like him? I smiled faintly. Lifting the trembling Lucas by the collar. Lucas is just infused from sleep. He'll come around with a good beating. 3 years ago, sensing I was on the verge of a breakthrough, I entered seclusion to cultivate. Now that I'd shattered the bottleneck, I decided to end my seclusion early. On my way back to the sect, I heard the clash of weapons coming from the training ground. I went to investigate and saw Amelia practicing swordsmanship with a handsome young man. They chatted and laughed. Their relationship clearly harmonious. Whenever the male disciple made a mistake, Amelia guided him patiently. Amelia was Oliver's youngest closed-door disciple, and my most cherished one. To aid her cultivation, I ventured alone into the dangerous mountains of southern border to pluck celestial herbs to cheer her up. I traveled to the western regions to bring back the legendary night pearl. I never thought the mischievous Amelia had grown into someone who could stand on her own. Smiling to myself, I revealed my presence and called out to her. Amelia's face lit up with joy when she saw me. She ran over, taking my hand. Noah, you're out of seclusion. I nodded with a smile. The cultivation went well, so I ended it a few days early. By the way, where's Oliver? Master went to attend the Sect Alliance meeting. They're discussing how to deal with the demonic cult. Amelia pouted. As soon as you're back, you ask about Master. Did you even think about me? How could I not? During those boring days in seclusion, memories of you kept me going. I laughed. That's more like it. Amelia's anger melted into a smile. Just then, I felt a venomous gaze staring at me. I looked up, and the male disciple quickly replaced his hostility with a docile expression. Who is this? I asked Amelia. All right. This is Lucas, Master's new closed-door disciple, our junior brother Lucas. Amelia realized, introducing us to each other. Lucas, this is Noah, our senior brother. Noah. I raised an eyebrow in confusion. Oliver had once said Amelia would be his last closed-door disciple, so why had he taken another? Lucas hurried over to bow, then lowered his eyes humbly. I've long heard of senior brother Noah's unparalleled swordsmanship. Would you condescend to give me some pointers? Maybe not. Amelia hesitated. Senior sister, only by sparring with different experts can one become an expert themselves. Lucas insisted. All right, but remember to stop at the right moment, Amelia said, a hint of mischief flashing in her eyes. Let's begin. I took the sword Amelia handed me. Lucas's eyes sharpened as he lunged forward with his blade. I nodded inwardly. This young man was truly a gifted swordsman. Theft. I easily spotted Lucas's flaw. Slashing his arm and drawing a spray of blood. Perfect. Now beg senior sister to feel sorry for me, Lucas thought to himself. But before he could speak, I struck again. Wait a minute. Lucas tried to call a halt, but I didn't give him the chance. With another swing of my sword, blood spurted from his chest in steady footsteps, full of openings. I showed no mercy. In moments, Lucas was covered in deep wounds, blood gushing out like fountains. Lucas, you still have a lot of practice to do. Fearing he might lose his life if I continued, I sheathed my sword. Senior sister, Lucas finally found the chance to cry out in grievance, his eyes brimming with tears. Looking utterly pitiful, Amelia hurried over, her face filled with concern. I told you not to spar with Noah. He's always been strict with fellow disciples. You're just asking for trouble. You didn't tell me the second part. Lucas wanted to cry but had no tears. Oh, didn't I? You attacked so quickly, I didn't have time. Amelia said. Hurry to the infirmary to bandage up. Don't lose too much blood, senior sister. Won't you come with me? Lucas was confused. Normally, even a minor scratch would make her fuss over him. Why was she acting differently today? Go on your own. I have some swordsmanship questions to ask Noah. After sending Lucas away, Amelia threw herself into my arms, rubbing her head against my chest affectionately. Noah, I missed you so much. I stroked her hair gently, teasing. Done with the act? You saw through it? Amelia looked up in surprise. I know you too well. Though you acted kind to Lucas on the surface, there was always disgust in your eyes. boring. I wanted to make you jealous. Amelia muttered softly. What? I pretended not to hear nothing. Amelia stuck out her tongue, then began telling me about Lucas. Amelia didn't know much about him, only that Oliver had brought him back a year ago. Oliver, who'd sworn not to take any more disciples, praised Lucas's exceptional talent as the profound sword sect's future hope, making an exception to accept him as a closed-door disciple. This had upset Amelia for quite some time. Since Lucas's arrival, Oliver, Sophia, and the others had doted on him endlessly, giving in to his every wish. Amelia couldn't stand it and started playing small pranks on him, only to be severely scolded by Oliver. Helpless, Amelia had no choice but to indulge Lucas as well. Master used to dote on me the most. Amelia pouted, looking wrong. It's okay. I'll still dote on you. I comforted her. Noah's the best. I like you the most. But you should be careful with Lucas. Noah, his cultivation isn't great, but he's a master at playing the innocent White Lotus. Unfortunately, Master and Sophia fall for it every time. I've suffered a lot because of him. Amelia warned me with a worried look. Oh. My interest was piqued. Taking my hand, Amelia chattered away like a little bird, pouring out her longing for me over the years and sharing all the interesting things that had happened at the profound sword sect, from Oliver's great battle with the demonic cult Selders to a senior brother and junior sister kissing in the bamboo forest. She told me everything in vivid detail, making me wonder if she'd done any cultivation at all during my seclusion. Tell me more about the kissing part, I said, feigning great interest. Senior brother? You're terrible. Amelia blushed and ran off. When I arrived at the sect's main hall, Lucas was crying to Sophia, one of the sect's elders. Elder Sophia, you must avenge me. Lucas was covered in bandages, as if he'd suffered unspeakable grievances, but Sophia seemed distracted, her eyes drifting toward the door. When she saw me enter, her eyes lit up for a moment before returning to their usual cold expression. It's him. Elder Sophia, he's the one who beat me like this. Lucas trembled, pointing at me. Is this true? Sophia asked me coldly. It is, elder sister. I bowed. Sophia had joined the sect 3 years before me and was Oliver's first disciple. She was cold and aloof, always impartial and upright, hence Oliver trusted her deeply, entrusting her with handling all the sect's major and minor affairs. With Oliver away, Sophia was the de facto leader of the profound sword sect. Apologize, Sophia snapped. Not just apologize, Elder Sophia. According to Article 13 of the sect rules, any disciple who deliberately harms another shall be flogged 30 times with thunder-patterned whips as a warning to others. Lucas glared at me fiercely. I'm telling you to apologize to Noah. Sophia turned to Lucas. Me? Apologize to him? Lucas pointed at himself in confusion, then at me. When Sophia nodded in confirmation, Lucas panicked. Why? I refuse. What I admire most about Elder Sophia is your impartiality. Why are you ignoring the profound sword sect rules now? Article 2 of the sect rules, entrusted by Master Oliver, Noah holds the authority to teach. Any disciple who is unruly, lazy, or makes no progress in their studies may be disciplined appropriately in accordance with the rules, exercising the master's right to educate. Sophia spoke slowly. Lucas hurried to pull out the sect rules from his bosom, flipping through them frantically, and sure enough, the article existed. After learning Sophia's temperament, Lucas had studied the sect rules meticulously, using this to gain her trust. But I'd been in seclusion back then, and he'd never met me, so this rule had slipped his mind over time. There you have it, I said casually, sitting down on a nearby chair. I was instructing you in Master Oliver's stead. What's the matter? Lucas, are you dissatisfied? No, not at all. Seeing he couldn't get his way, Lucas immediately put on a remorseful look, bowing deeply. It's my fault for being incompetent in my cultivation. Senior brother's punishment was justified. I apologize, senior brother. Watching Lucas switch faces so quickly, I secretly marveled at his scheming. All right, go tend to your wounds. Sophia's expression softened slightly, sending me away again. Reluctant as he was, Lucas had no choice but to leave once he was gone. Sophia asked with concern, why did you end your seclusion early? Noah, have you eaten yet? I miss the delicious food you cook, elder sister. I grinned. On to be ridiculous. I've left meals at the foot of Quiet Heart Cliff every day, haven't I? Sophia said seriously. It mess not the same. When I was on Quiet Heart Cliff, the food was cold even though it was the most delicious in the world. It couldn't compare to the fresh dishes you make. So good I could eat my own tongue. I pretended to drool. You raise such a flatterer. Come with me. For the first time, a faint blush colored Sophia's cheeks as she turned to leave. I followed her to her private quarters soon. A feast of delicacies was laid out before me. Slow down. Watching me gobble up the food, Sophia smiled and wiped a corner of my mouth. I stared at her smile like plum blossoms blooming in the cold wind and found myself momentarily entranced. Elder sister. You look beautiful when you smile. Sophia quickly turned her head away, her snow-white neck flushing pink. Knowing Sophia was shy, I didn't press further. Instead, I changed the subject to ask about Lucas. After composing herself, Sophia said, when Master Oliver brought Lucas back, he openly announced he would take him as his closed-door disciple. He poured all the sect's resources into cultivating him. He even secretly asked me to fulfill Lucas's requests as much as possible within the bounds of the sect rules, though not to the point of revising the rules. That's your privilege alone. Sophia couldn't help but shoot me a playful glare. Lucas trains very diligently. He's always been obedient and abides by the sect rules. He's a promising talent. Sophia's assessment of Lucas was quite positive. The Profound Sword sect had suffered heavy losses in its previous war with the demonic cult, leaving the sect short of talented disciples, while Oliver was gifted beyond measure, his cultivation reaching the rare great accomplishment stage and making him the strongest in the righteous path. A next generation of disciples had only a handful who could uphold the sect's reputation, leaving the Profound Sword sect's future uncertain. Thus, it was understandable that Oliver would take such pains to cultivate a disciple with exceptional talent. Still, in my eyes, Lucas didn't seem as innocent as he appeared. Well, with Oliver away, it would fall to me, his senior brother, to uncover his true colors. After eating my fill, I went to Lucas's quarters only to hear noisy chatter inside. Concentrating, I realized fellow disciples had come to visit him after hearing about his injuries. I thought to myself, Lucas certainly has a good reputation among the disciples. Before long, Lucas began asking about me. What's senior brother Noah like? Noah is a legend in our Profound Sword sect, one disciple said admiringly. They say he started practicing swordsmanship at 6, and by 10, he was chasing fellow disciples all over the mountains. At 17, the elders all begged him to hold back when sparring with them. What do you mean? Lucas asked in confusion. They were afraid of losing face if he defeated them. Senior brother Lucas, why are you asking about Noah all of a sudden? I thought he was in seclusion. Lucas recounted what had happened that day, but secretly painted me as a bully abusing his power, while portraying himself as an innocent victim. Lucas had thought, with the connections he'd built, he could smear my reputation, but what happened next was far beyond his expectations. How dare you speak ill of senior brother Noah? I thought you were kind-hearted. But I was mistaken. I even brought you tonics after hearing you were injured. Now I see you don't deserve them. The disciples grabbed their gifts and stormed out. I quickly flew up to the roof to avoid them. Lucas flew into a rage, slamming his fist on the bed only to wince in pain as the movement pulled his wounds. Senior brother, are you all right? A clear, melodious female voice came. Filled with concern, Lucas looked up expectantly only to see a burly, broad-shouldered woman standing beside his bed. Who are you? Lucas trembled with his severe injuries. He feared he couldn't defend himself if the woman had malicious intentions. I'm Mia, a cook from the sect's kitchen. I've admired senior brother Lucas for a long time. Hearing you were injured, I specially brewed a bottle of Tiger Whip wine to visit you, Mia said shyly. Who uses Tiger Whip wine to treat wounds? Don't think I don't know what you're up to. Get out of here. Lucas could no longer maintain his gentlemanly facade, roaring and chasing Mia away. Mia's heart shattered. She ran out grief-stricken, tears glistening in the air. Noah. Lucas growled my name through gritted teeth. Watching everything from the roof, I shrugged innocently. You can't blame this on me, can you? You ignorant fools. When I take control of the Profound Sword sect, you'll regret this. As he spoke, Lucas struggled to his feet. He peeked cautiously outside to make sure no one was there, then returned to his desk and began writing a letter. A smile crept onto my face. So Lucas really did have something to hide. Never in my wildest dreams did I expect Lucas to strike first before I could investigate him. Early one morning, Lucas led Sophia and a group of disciples to my room, looking furious. Elder Sophia, yesterday I saw senior brother Noah come to my room. After that, my jade pendant left to me by my mother disappeared. Lucas burst into tears, his voice filled with longing for his mother. I faced them calmly. So you're accusing me of stealing your jade pendant? Lucas. Would you mind letting me search your room? Go ahead and search, I said unfearfully, then I'll be bold enough to proceed. Lucas's face lit up with joy. He rushed into my room and began rummaging through things. Before long he found a jade pendant. Elder Sophia, this is it. Lucas held up the pendant triumphantly. How do you prove this is yours? I asked in feigned confusion. That pendant has the character Z, my family name, Lucas said triumphantly. I took the pendant and examined it. Sure enough, there was a card Z on it. You must be joking. Lucas, just because it has, mean it's yours. I handed the pendant to Sophia. Amelia leaned over curiously. Then burst out laughing. Lucas, look closely at what's actually written there. Amelia tossed the pendant back to him. Lucas got it, and his eyes widened as he saw the full inscription. Thank you, senior brother Noah of the Profound Sword Sect. For saving my life. This was a gift from a female hero I rescued while upholding justice. When did it become your personal property? I smiled. You just carved it. There's still powder on your fingers, Lucas shouted, pointing at my hands. I held up my fingers and blew gently, scattering the tiny dust particles. What powder? I don't see any. Helpless, Lucas turned to Sophia, hoping the always impartial elder would stand up for him, but Sophia, who had always favored him before, was now staring at him with anger. Lucas, framing a fellow disciple. Go to the law enforcement hall and receive 30 thunder pattern whips on your own accord. No, Elder Sophia, let me explain. Lucas tried to argue, but law enforcement disciples dragged him away. What Lucas didn't know was that when he'd sneaked into my room to plant the pendant, Sophia and I had returned just in time, witnessing his frame up in its entirety. After that Lucas grew much more behaved, but I had no intention of letting him off the hook. In the alchemy chamber, Lucas arrived as usual to collect his cultivation pills, but as soon as the pill was in his hand, I snatched it away. What are you doing, senior brother? Lucas suppressed his anger. Your senior sister Amelia is at a critical stage of her cultivation. She needs this pill to break through her bottleneck. I said expressionlessly. That's mine, Lucas insisted. Standing his ground. Tell him the rules, I said to the disciple distributing the pills. These precious medicinal herbs were obtained by senior brother Noah from dangerous places. According to the sect rules, senior brother Noah has full authority to dispose of any pills refined from them. The disciple replied respectfully. Master Oliver promised these to me. Lucas frowned. Then go complain to Master Oliver, I said, turning to hand the pill to Amelia. Thank you, Noah. Amelia hugged me, smiling sweetly. Watching our retreating figures, Lucas's eyes seemed ready to shoot fire as he stormed out of the alchemy chamber in frustration. He found me waiting for him with a sword in hand. It looks like your injuries have healed, Lucas. How about senior brother gives you another lesson? No need. Senior brother, my wounds aren't fully recovered yet. Lucas waved his hands frantically. Lucas, you don't have the right to refuse. I grabbed his collar and dragged him to the training ground. Moments later, Lucas was once again covered in wounds, blood spurting like fountains. I can't take this anymore, Lucas roared alone in his bed that night. He couldn't understand. After a year of carefully currying favor, he'd won everyone's affection in the sect, so why had he become a hated outcast the moment Noah emerged from seclusion? When would his plan ever succeed? Master Oliver, right, Master Oliver. When Master came back he would definitely stand up for me, Lucas shouted inwardly. I'd better read to distract myself from this frustration. Lucas pulled out a cherished treasure book from under his bed. He was engrossed in the pages when my voice suddenly sounded beside him. So Lucas likes this kind of book. Lucas jumped out of bed in fright seeing it was me. He snapped angrily. Noah, are you crazy? What are you doing in my room in the middle of the night? The way of the sword requires unceasing practice day and night. Senior brother is here to urge you to cultivate, I said with a stern face. Take my advice, Lucas. Reading books like this is useless for your cultivation. Since it's your first offense, I won't report this to Elder Sophia, but this forbidden book I'll confiscate it. I tucked the book into my bosom with a righteous look. Young people have plenty of energy. Channeling it properly will keep you from going astray. Come, I tucked him. Wipes. Practice with senior brother at night. I dragged Lucas out of the room. Master Oliver, when will you come back? Lucas wailed. Finally, after days of anxious waiting, Oliver, the sect leader of the Profound Sword Sect, returned. Master, please avenge me. Covered in injuries, Lucas threw himself at Oliver's feet, startling the sect leader and the elders behind him. Lucas, how did you get so badly hurt? Oliver looked at the emaciated Lucas, barely recognizing him from the handsome young man he'd left behind. Master, it's Noah. Ever since he came out of seclusion, he's been abusing his status, jealous of my talent, and tormenting me. Lucas sobbed. What? Oliver was shocked. Noah has emerged from seclusion. Master, is that really the only thing you care about? Lucas's face froze. But Oliver ignored him, scanning the crowd frantically for me. As soon as he spotted me, Oliver flew over. His eyes filled with anticipation. Did you succeed? I did not fail you, Master. I raised my head proudly. Incredible. Our Profound Sword Sect will finally regain its glory. Oliver cheered. The world only knew of Oliver's extraordinary talent, but they had no idea there was an even more monstrous genius hidden behind the Profound Sword Sect. 3 years ago, I'd been just one step away from breaking through to the great accomplishment stage. Now that my seclusion was a success, it meant the Profound Sword Sect would reclaim its title as the world's top sect. Master, what about me? Lucas refused to give up, rushing to Oliver's side to plead his case again. Oh, right, my young disciple, what were you saying earlier? Oliver asked belatedly. I said Noah has been tormenting me, Lucas said angrily. Oliver looked at me in confusion. I only trained Lucas strictly, but through my intense training, junior brother Lucas has made great progress, I said with a satisfied smile. Oliver glanced at Lucas confidently, then frowned. But I don't see any improvement in his cultivation. As the saying goes, cultivate the body before cultivating ki. While Lucas's cultivation hasn't advanced, his physical fitness has improved drastically. Now he can withstand 24 sword strikes without falling. Oh? Oliver patted Lucas approvingly. Why don't you thank Noah for his guidance, elders? Please stand up for me. Seeing Oliver was unpersuasive, Lucas turned to the elders. Have you even checked that boy's realm? We weren't his match years ago, and now we can't even sense his cultivation level. Who dares to provoke him? The elders. Lucas was begging broke out in cold sweat, quickly pretending not to hear him. After returning to the main hall, Oliver dismissed everyone at my signal, leaving only me. Sophia and Amelia, hurry up and spar with me. The martial arts fanatic. Oliver's eyes sparkled with excitement. Before that, shouldn't you explain what's going on with Lucas? I asked. Lucas? What about him? Oliver looked confused. Looking at the carefree Oliver in front of me, I felt a wave of exhaustion. Oliver was truly a cultivation prodigy, but it seemed the heavens had opened a door for his talent while closing the window on his intelligence. Do you know his real identity? Of course. He's the son of a wealthy merchant at the foot of the mountain. I saved his father's caravan once, and his father asked him to become my disciple. So I accepted him. Most importantly, his wealthy father donated a huge sum of money to our Profound Sword Sect. Oliver rubbed his fingers. Wearing a "aren't I clever? Praise me" expression. But you can't give him all the cultivation resources, Amelia complained. Nonsense. He paid for it. Why shouldn't he get some resources? Oliver said matter-of-factly. I rubbed my forehead in exasperation. It was nothing short of a miracle that the Profound Sword Sect had survived this long with such a scatterbrained leader. Read these letters. I tossed several sheets of paper at her. These are the letters Lucas sent to his so-called father. Oliver picked them up and frowned as she read. It turned out Lucas was a spy from the demonic cult, sent to infiltrate and take control of the Profound Sword Sect. In the letters, Lucas mocked Amelia for being naive, Sophia for being rigid, and Oliver for being an idiot. He boasted that he'd manipulated the sect's 3 most powerful figures into falling madly in love with him, and that he'd soon bring the entire Profound Sword Sect under his thumb. The 3 of them flew into a rage next. The letters mentioned me, describing me as a formidable cultivator who'd emerged from seclusion, warning that I might hinder his plans, but he sneered that he'd find a way to eliminate me sooner or later. As they read further, the rest of the letters devolved into nothing but vulgar insults directed at me. Ugh, how disgusting. The 3 pulled faces of disgust. That's enough of that. I snatched the letters back. But these are in your handwriting. Noah? Sophia asked in confusion. The other two checked and nodded, looking at me questioningly. Naturally, I copied them after finding the original letters to avoid alerting him. Why? Do you think I'm framing your precious Lucas? It was like their three brains combined couldn't form a single logical thought. No, of course not. The three women waved their hands frantically. So what do we do now? Oliver looked lost. I have a plan. I pulled them close and began plotting in a low voice. A few days later, Lucas arrived with a secret letter, accusing me of being a demonic cult spy. Oliver and the others exchanged glances. You're saying Noah is a spy? Oliver guessed. Yes. I have proof right here. Lucas presented the letter. Oliver read it, written in my handwriting. It detailed a plan to poison the sect's water supply with a sleeping potion. Then collaborate with the demonic cult leader to capture everyone while they were unconscious. In the letter, I demanded the cult leader spare Oliver, Sophia, and Amelia, saying I wanted to keep them as my concubines. It sounded so convincing that Oliver looked at me suspiciously. Master, I also intercepted the sleeping potion. Lucas held up a large jar. Oliver opened it, and her face darkened. Noah, what do you have to say for yourself? This is all a frame-up, I said calmly. Confident in my innocence, Master. I even have the cult leader's reply. Lucas pulled out another letter. Do you have any more evidence? Can't you present it all at once? Oliver snapped impatiently. No. That's all, Lucas quickly replied. Oliver unfolded the reply. The cult leader praised my plan, expressed concern for my long-term infiltration, and promised that besides Oliver and the others, he'd reward me with 30 more beautiful women after their success. I raised you for over 10 years. Only to breed such an ungrateful traitor. Oliver trembled with anger. Noah, betraying the sect is an unforgivable crime. I advise you to surrender. Sophia's face was icy, her voice sharp with rage. Noah, I never thought you'd be such a person. Amelia looked devastated. The demonic cult leader is framing me, I shouted. Oliver snorted. Why would he frame you and not someone else? If you're determined to brand me a traitor, there's no point in arguing. I laughed loudly, unleashing a powerful sordora. If that's the case, I'll no longer stay in this sect. Trying to run, not so fast. Let me see what you learned in seclusion. Oliver, lead the others in surrounding me. It looks like blood will flow today at the profound sword sect. I stroked my 3-foot green sword, my heart cold as iron. After a few exchanges, I was pinned to the ground by Oliver and the other's eldest disciple. You're not as powerful as I thought. Take him away. Oliver ordered. Several law enforcement disciples dragged me off. Master, I'm innocent. Give me another chance, I shouted, feigning despair. That night, battered and bruised from torture, I lay dying in the dungeon. Oh, look who it is, the revered Noah of the profound sword sect. How the mighty have fallen. Lucas's arrogant voice echoed as you framed me. I struggled to pounce on him, but was held back by special chains. Yes, I framed you, so what? I've hated you since the moment I saw you. Now I'm just paying back all the humiliation you put me through. Lucas had dismissed the guards, standing over me like a conqueror. You'll pay for this. I glared at him. Worry about yourself first. Lucas drew his sword. My eyes narrowed and I secretly gathered my energy, bracing for an attack. To my surprise, he gritted his teeth and stabbed the sword into his own abdomen. Watching his self-directed performance, I fought the urge to break free and kill him on the spot. Help, someone help me, Lucas screamed loudly, limping toward the dungeon entrance. Soon, Oliver and the others arrived. I tried to persuade Noah to repent, but he refused. He snatched my sword and tried to kidnap me. I fought back desperately, but he stabbed me. Lucas looked pitifully at them. Master, it's my fault for being incompetent in cultivation. I brought you trouble. After comforting Lucas, Oliver drew her sword and approached me, her face filled with sorrow. It seems you've truly fallen into darkness. I can't let you live any longer. Oliver, stop your hypocrisy. 10 years of master-disciple bond mean nothing compared to a few words from this pretty boy. I laughed bitterly. Do it. I'll watch from the heavens and see what tragic fate awaits you all. As Oliver's sword pierced my chest, I collapsed to the ground. A month later, Oliver led the profound sword sect's elite warriors to join other righteous sects in a campaign against the demonic cult. The righteous forces advanced triumphantly, storming the demonic cult's headquarters, but to their shock, the stronghold was empty just as they tried to retreat. The cult's full army surrounded them. Haha. Did you really think our sacred cult was so easy to defeat? This was all a trap to lure you here. The demonic cult leader, Benjamin, laughed triumphantly. Panic spread among the righteous disciples. Hey, cult leader, dare to fight me one-on-one? Oliver stepped forward, taking her ear in disdain. Very well. Everyone says you're the strongest in the world. I'll test that today. Benjamin roared. At that moment, a dagger stabbed into Oliver's waist, blood soaking her robes instantly. Oliver turned in shock, only to see Lucas grinning maliciously. Master, sorry about this. Eerie the traitor? Oliver's eyes widened in disbelief. Benjamin seized the opportunity. Darting forward with claws outstretched just as he was about to strike, a sudden sense of danger made him pull back at the same time. A streak of swordlight flashed. If Benjamin hadn't retreated, his hand would have been severed. Who is it? Benjamin snarled, both angry and alarmed. The demonic cult leader truly lives up to his reputation. I removed my mask. Lucas stared at me as if seeing a ghost. Impossible. Noah, how are you still alive? Good disciple, I'm dying. Avenge me. Oliver feigned her last breath. Enough with the act, I snapped. How was my acting? Not bad. Right. Oliver stood up with a grin, holding an empty blood bag in her hand. Lucas's eyes darted wildly. He turned to run, but Sophia and Amelia tackled him, shattering his kneecaps and forcing him to kneel on the ground. Senior sisters. I'm sorry, spare me. Lucas trembled like a leaf, begging for mercy frantically. You were all acting. Benjamin gritted his teeth. What's a little trickery if it gets an old fox like you to show your face? I smiled. I'll admit defeat this time, but with only one great accomplishment. Stage cultivator Oliver on your side, it's still anyone's game, Benjamin sneered. Confident in his own great accomplishment cultivation. What if you add me? I no longer suppressed my power, a boundless surge of righteous energy pouring out of me. You're also at the great accomplishment stage. Benjamin's face finally twisted in terror. Heh, I'm still not afraid. Look behind you. Do you know who that is? Benjamin suddenly laughed, pointing over our shoulders. I didn't budge, but Oliver craned her neck to look around. Stop looking and come help. I shouted as I chased after the fleeing Benjamin. Oliver and I fought Benjamin for an entire day and night, finally wounding him severely and pinning him to the ground. Benjamin. A hero of my time defeated by two scoundrels. I refused to accept this. Benjamin looked tragic. Quit rambling. Take your grievances to Yama. Oliver swung her sword, beheading him with one clean strike. When we returned to the main battlefield, the righteous disciples had already wiped out the leaderless demonic cult followers. Seeing us return victorious, leaders of other sects swarmed over to congratulate us. They praised Oliver as the leader of the righteous path, powerful herself, and having raised such an exceptional disciple. Oliver's smile couldn't be wider. Several sect leaders even asked if I was married, offering to introduce their daughters to me. Oliver, Sophia, and Amelia quickly dragged me away before I could respond. Do you have anything else to say? We stood in front of Lucas. Spare me. I'll tell you everything. Desperate to survive, Lucas spilled all his secrets. It turned out the demonic cult had long been selecting young men and women with extraordinary talent and looks. They trained them to charm the opposite sex and stir up conflict, then sent them to righteous sects led by male or female leaders respectively. Gaining the leader's favor, they would divide the sect from within. Leaking the righteous forces. The cult called this the URUYM plan. Lucas had no idea why it was named that. Thanks to this plan, the demonic cult had already torn many sects apart. Being too outstanding has its own troubles. Watching Oliver, Sophia, and Amelia bicker fiercely over who would accompany me on my journey down the mountain, I put on a bitter expression, but secretly I was over the moon. I'm the sect leader. I make the rules. Noah must go with me. Oliver puffed out her chest, asserting her authority. This isn't about status. Noah loves the food I cook the most. I should be the one to take care of him. Sophia refused to back down. I can keep seeing your brother entertained. I'm the best at making him happy. Let me go with him. Amelia straightened her back confidently. None of them could persuade the others. Finally, they turned to me in unison. Who do you want to go with you? Foundation establishment cultivators choose one. Great accomplishment cultivators like me choose all three. I spread my 10 fingers wide. As if seizing everything under the sun. Dream on. The three of them kicked me out of the room. Bored. I wandered around the sect. Suddenly, I heard Lucas's voice screaming, "Stop. I can't take it anymore." Following the sound, I arrived at a courtyard. There, Lucas was tied to a tree, and Mia the burly cook was whipping him relentlessly. "Shut up, who knew you were such a coward? What a waste of my sincere feelings," Mia cursed as she lashed out. "If that's the case, I'll have to find other ways to amuse myself with you." Watching the powerless Lucas endure such humiliation, I felt a twinge of sympathy. Just a tiny one. I called Mia over and handed her a few pills. "I got these by chance," they said, "to restore a man's vitality. Though they're a bit hard on the body. I don't need them, so you can have them all." Mia's eyes lit up. She grabbed the pills and dragged Lucas into the house. Lucas begged me frantically, "Noah, I'm sorry. Spare me." I ignored him and walked away. A few months later, while traveling the martial world with Oliver, Sophia, and Amelia, we heard news of Lucas's death that night. We ordered a feast to mourn our fellow disciple Lucas. Thinking back on everything that had happened, the four of us suddenly felt ravenous and each ate an extra bowl of rice.